Hello, guys. I know one of these days when I actually get this channel you know running better off the ground, we've well, I don't know why I say we. I say we because I see you guys as part of my crew, part of my team. If you're a subscriber, I count you as we. So that's just how I think about it. So that's when I say we. That's what I mean. But yeah, one day we're gonna look back on this and we're gonna laugh at all these delays because it seems like I know there's some of you guys who think it's never coming, and he's just making up stuff. But there's more and more delays. But I did not want to leave you empty-handed, so there's gonna be a tiny little demo, a little taste today, a little taste of what's coming. Okay, so here's the thing. I planned on finished building them yesterday, but my grandfather needed help with a few things. He wanted to get a new personal computer, so we did a bunch of research on that, and I had to help him out with that. So that took most of the day doing a lot of research on that, finding the right thing for him. Yada yada yada. That took a long time, and a few other things I helped him with while I was already helping him with that. So and so I only got to build one of the pedals yesterday. So there's still one more to build. And also, I ran into an issue with that pedal that I built. Now, for some reason, or was it that pedal or another one? I don't remember. But for some reason, one of the pedals, it's one of the one-offs, thankfully, but it does not pass any sound when it's turned off. Like, the clean tone does not pass through at all. I don't know why. I don't know if I did something wrong during construction. I thought I did everything the same. I don't know if just substituting different components did that for this one off. I'm not sure. I don't think that's it. I must have made a mistake somewhere. But I spent a few hours going back over it, way more than it's worth. Like I should just I could have built another two of them in the time that I spent trying to fix that one. So it works perfectly fine. It's just that that particular unit can't pass clean tone. So yeah. But that's just how that unit would be. And, yeah. But anyways. Then today, you're like, well, okay, well then, hey, why didn't you just finish everything today? Like, you should have finished. Well, I got great news on that. There's actually a really good news why I didn't finish it today. So, I had a job interview today. Yep, job interview. It took most of the day because I was learning about the job, but I'm basically got it, as long as I pass the background check. Which I will, of course, but as long as I pass that, then I get the job. I don't want to say exactly what it is because I don't want you weirdos showing up there naked with ADHD mods painted on your shirt, screaming up and just kidding. But no, for real, I just keep it a secret for now. But it's not that high paying of a job. It's very low paying, but it's lower stress, and I think that's what matters right now. Even though it is full time. It's full-time seasonal, and the season ends literally about a week before I want to leave for Sweden, so it's like perfect for me. So yeah, I'm going to go for this job. I'm going to work it full-time until I go there, and of course I have to give it up when I leave. But it should be easy, low-stress job. I mean, not like easy, but low-stress compared to the things I've done in the past. My God, the things I've done. Working at the Postal Service, working at a assembly line. Oh my God, like that is not for the faint of heart. But that's great news. I have the job, so that should secure most of my income, and I'll make up the rest with these pedals that I need to make. Yep, because I gotta make around. It's so funny. Like if you make too little money, you won't qualify for the insurance I have, and if you make too much, you won't qualify for it either. So I gotta make in this Goldilocks zone. The Goldilocks zone is, I'm not sure what the upper limit for it is, but if I make around 15.5 to like 16.5, I know that's a low amount of money, then I won't owe anything for my health insurance. If I make more than that, I'm going to owe a little bit, but if I make less than 15.5, I am screwed, and I'll owe like thousands of dollars. So yeah, yep. So I gotta sell quite a few pedals. I've calculated, I think I'm going to need to sell about 80 this year. Like, my God. Unless I sell a few other things that I own and count that as income. Normally you wouldn't want to count, like, you sell a thing on Craigslist as income. but I'm trying to get to a certain amount before the end of the year, or else I'll owe tons of money. So it's best for me that I do that. So yeah, that's that. And but yeah, I got a quick weird demo for you. So I've built 2 of these one-offs are actually built into cigar boxes, and those are going to be cheaper. Those are going to be $50 for you guys. One of them turned out really weird. Okay, guys, one of them turned out really weird. I know this is a weird term, but it sounds woolly, right? It sounds so like, I don't know, like wool. Okay, you know how wool sounds. No, but if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. One of them came out sounding so woolly, and it's kind of weird. And I haven't found an instrument that it suits yet, right? I don't have a bass to test it with, but I would assume it would probably do best with a bass. So I definitely need to get my hands on a cheap bass to test some of these out. But that one is one of the wooden ones. And the other wood one, it has more of like this flat curved sound. That sounds weird, doesn't make sense. But it's like, if you look at the waveform, it comes out like a block. It's very wild. But yeah. So anyways, I recorded a little demo just to give y'all a taste. And I'm speaking first because I don't want y'all to get your hopes up on this little short demo. But I remember I told you I was moving all my stuff around. Well, I rigged up where I have to have my mixer and my audio input, like my interface, my Scarlett, and my mixer have to work hand in hand so I can actually record the sound and hear the playback at the same time. But my mixer isn't hooked up right now because I told you I was moving my stuff around. So I wasn't able to hear anything I recorded. So that was fun. So everything you heard was played blindly. And also I was reaching over another keyboard while playing it. So I couldn't even see the keys I was pressing. So if it sounds kind of weird or odd, it's because of that. But there's also a 303 demo. So that will give you, that won't be as totally weird. But the weird thing about this is, okay, so when I do record the main demos, it's going to go into my mixer and then into my interface and into my computer. And of course I'll use just regular 1/4 inch cables. But my regular 1/4 inch cables right now are connected to my testing rig where I've been building stuff. And I had to use my stereo cables in here. So I'm running stereo cables as mono cables. So there might be some weird noise artifacting you might hear. You'll definitely hear it at first. And also, I powered one of the synths, which I should not have done, but I powered one of the synths with the USB. And that introduced a little weird noise. So when I do use that synth for the main demos, I won't power it by USB, so that doesn't happen again. But you'll hear what I'm talking about. That's actually not an issue with the pedals. It was an issue with powering it by USB. But I did something weird that I'm not going to do in the main demo. So this is actually worth watching, even if you're going to watch the main demo because of that. So what I did is I took both of the cigar box units, and even though they sound different, I ran them as a stereo unit. So I had my left go into one. My left went into the one that I said sounds woolly, and my right went into the other one. And you're going to hear a few sounds with that. So with that, I also, at the end, will play a little bit clean, so you can hear what it sounds like clean. Now, with the 303, I'm not playing that clean, because I think you guys know what a 303 sounds like, and if you don't, you can just Google Roland TB 303 and hear what it sounds like normally. This isn't the real one, it's an analog clone, but it sounds very, very close. It's like 95% there. So, yeah. That woolly sounding one sounds really weird with it, and I don't like it as much, but the other one sounds pretty cool. So you'll hear the woolly sounding one first with the 303, and then you'll hear the one that sounds better with the 303. Yeah. But these two cigar box ones, out of all the ones I've done, aren't the best with synths. These actual cigar box ones, I think, are not. I think the woolly one might be better for bass, and actually the one in the red box might be the only one of these that I made that actually I think came out best sounding with the guitar. where most of them either sounded best with synths or best with bass. Like the main line of 20 that are coming out, I think sound best with bass. The Woolly one sounds best with bass. Even though I don't have a bass, I tuned my guitar down so low that I simulated the bass. I know that's ghetto, okay, for lack of a better term, but that just has to suffice until I actually get a bass. But yeah, the 20 pedals better with bass. That Woolly one better with bass. The Woolly one's very weird. It's not going to be for many people. It's very weird. I don't even know if I really like it that much, but if someone might like it, it's very weird sounding, okay? And then that one red box is, I think, a little bit better with the guitar. But man, the one with the diode in the circuit, man, it sounds so good with the 303. Not sorry, they all have diodes. I meant a light emitting diode. The one with the blue LED just sounds so good, where it actually passes the sound through the LED, which you're not supposed to do, but of course a lot of pedal builders do that. And the great thing about this circuit, the way it's built, it's safe to, I can just take out the regular diode and throw in the LED, and it works perfectly fine, and it's not even going to burn out the LED. That's wonderful. So that's great. And also, like I said, if you haven't seen the last video, I've added the ability to, well, now the pedals going forward are going to have LEDs built into them. The first, was it one or two? The first one or two metal one-offs don't have an LED. It might only be one or it might be two, I'm not sure. No, it's just one. Only one, the one I showed you a picture of, the skeleton one, is the only one built into a metal case that doesn't have an LED. So if you want one without an LED, get that one. I also might build one of the 20 main lines without an LED too, if there's one of y'all weirdos out there who wants one without the LED. The benefit of not having the LED is, like I said, people that are sensitive to light, but the even bigger benefit is your battery will last longer. And all of these first batch will be battery powered. Like I said, I might on the, like I said, the 20 pedals that are all the same, I haven't built all those. So when I say batch, I mean the ones that are built now. But some of those of the 20 pedals might be built with a power supply. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. But for now, they're battery powered. So yeah, what to expect in the demo. You'll hear the Cobalt 5S stereo played through the two different wooden box units. And then you'll hear what that sounds like clean. I only played like one tone through it, maybe two, because it was hard trying to play it and not know what I was playing, and you know what I mean? It was kind of annoying. And then the 303, I played through the Woolly box first. It's not called that, but it's just what we're going to call it. And then played it through the other box second. There's actually no time gap for when it switches over to the other effect box, but you'll hear immediately when we switch to the other box, the sound will sound drastically different. Like I said, exact same circuit, we just switched out a few components. Same layout and everything, and that made that big of a sound difference. But yeah, and then you won't hear the 303 clean. It's a very short demo. Like I said, this description is much longer, and I know you guys are frustrated. I know maybe some of you probably are not, but I know a lot of y'all are like, oh my god, he just delays and delays and delays. But like I said, I had good reason. I helped my grandfather find him a new computer. That took a while, and then I job interview and was showing around the job, and that was most of the day today, and the computer stuff was most of the day yesterday. So I've been busy with that. So I'm not gonna give y'all. I think it's best going forward if I don't set like a goal for when I'm gonna release, because it seems that every time I set a goal for when I'm gonna release something in my life happens and I'm not able to do it, right? So I could say, oh, the videos will be out this weekend. Oh, the videos will be out tomorrow. They'll be out Friday. I'm not going to say anything at all, because I don't want the pressure. But they will be out soon. They'll be out very soon. Very soon. I'll just say they'll be out before I start working, and I start working before the 20th. Okay, I don't know when, but I know before the 20th for sure. I'll start working. So, yeah, that's like a week. So they'll definitely be out in less than a week. Right. If I realistically realistically have to give y'all a deadline. I don't want to, but if I have to, if worst case scenario, if I just get super mega busy and I don't have any time but like a few hours every day to dedicate to this, if I don't have much time at all, at the very least, it's coming out this weekend. At the very least. But hopefully, I start getting these videos out during the week sometime. You know, I'm winding down from the job interviews a lot. And it was multiple stages, too. I had to interview with, how many people was it? 1, 2, 3, 4 people. There was 4 different people I had to interview with for this job. Back to back. And that took a long time. And, yeah, you would think it wouldn't be so much for just how little it pays. But, hey, I guess it's kind of a very important job, even though it's kind of relaxed. But, oh my God. And then I had to, what do you call it? I had to even though I had my application thing filled out, I had to refill a bunch of it out, so that took even more time. So, ugh. But, yeah, I know, guys. I know y'all hated delay. And you know, be really funny, honestly. If I ever make a delay pedal, I'm just gonna put my face on it. But really, though, if I ever make a delay pedal, I'm just gonna put my face on it. You know, because my God, but it has to be a really long delay, right? It has to be a pedal that's not a slapback echo or something. It has to be. Yeah, I always had the dream of making a delay pedal that had a really freaking long delay time. I mean, like freaking glacial, right? Like, bing, bing, like that big of a few seconds before it comes back. You know what I mean? And like being able to extend it out like really long, like maybe extend it out to a minute or something. But I wanted a delay that could go from like mega short all the way to like a minute in one delay with one knob and not multiple settings, you know. I don't know how that would be achieved. I guess that'd have to be achieved through DSP, but I'm not a programmer, so trying to do something like that with a chip is going to be a lot harder, I think. I don't know much about chip-based pedals. Everything I do is purely just old school componentry. You know, like what I'm building now could have been built in the 60s. I mean, pretty much. Especially the germanium ones, obviously. Germanium unit. But basically, technology, 50 years ago, you could have built these pedals that I'm building. This design isn't that old, obviously, but you know what I mean. Okay. I'm the king of yapping, right? As the kids say. Without further ado, I'm stupid. Without further ado, I'm gonna throw y'all onto this. Y'all listen to like almost 20 minutes of me talk just to hear like 2 minutes of a demo. But like I said, I didn't want to leave y'all completely empty-handed. Like I said, it's going to sound weird because I was recorded where I can't hear it because I didn't have my mixer thrown in. I've actually got this table now. It's like one of those tables that you can raise and lower. And I'm switching a lot of my equipment to that. So but then I decided I might actually put my mixer back on a different table. It didn't matter. But the mixer's not hooked up right now, so I gotta get all that ready. And I know if I set all that up, by the time I did that, I wouldn't have enough time to even record anything today. So just wanted to give y'all a little bit of something just so y'all don't leave empty-handed. Well, you don't have to listen anymore. Just go watch the demo that's coming up. All right, let's end this. Oh, and I did want to give y'all a cool little thing. I just want to tell you this. When you order these, if not of the one-offs, because we can't do that right now. But until I get the website up, if you guys see my main line that I'm building, you're going to hear the one I'm going to tell you is the main line. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but it's the pink one. There'll be 20 of those. If you don't want one built the standard way, let me know. Let me know. Contact me on Reverb or contact me on YouTube. But it's best to contact me on Reverb. That way I know you're serious. You know, you can contact me on YouTube and not go through with it. So my reverb shop is called ADHD Mods. At least it is for now. I might change it to ADHD Pedals slash mods. I'm not sure. But you just you can find me. And if you can't find the ADHD mods on Reverb, all you have to do, go to Reverb and type in Casio CZ1, and there will be one that pops up that's $999, and it in the picture you'll see like a wooden board behind it, and you'll see an effect pedal on that wooden board. And if you click that, that's my it'll take you to my listing, and you can see my channel there and click my channel from that. So yeah, YouTube sometimes if you post links on here, they don't like that, and they like ghost the video, or they like whatever. So I don't want to deal with that right now. So that's how you can find the channel. But anyways, the standard units will be built. But if, say, you want one without an LED, or you want one to use a hand switch instead of a foot switch, or if you don't, for some reason, maybe you don't want the volume knob, or you don't want the gain knob, or you want to switch one out with a, you want to change the value for whatever reason, I don't know. You know what I mean? If you just have any weird requests, you can just let me know. And the weird requests aren't going to cost anything unless it's a part I don't have and I have to order. But like, say you don't like the pink LED, I can substitute a different color, hand switch to foot switch, whatever type of switch you want. If you don't like the default gray and pink knobs, I can throw in a white knob or a blue knob, blue and black. Things like that, just little things. And I have my domain registered, but if you want to check out the website, it's not going to be up for a while. I know I could... Sorry. I know I can build the website, but like, I haven't built a website since 9th grade. Okay, and I'm dating myself here. In 9th grade, I started ninth grade when Obama was in his first year of his second term. Wait, no. No. I started 9th grade when Obama was in the first year of his first term. There we go. Shoot, god dang, I'm old. I think, if I'm doing my math right. Yeah. So that'll give you an idea when I was in 9th grade. So it's been that long, my god. Okay, like, Windows Vista was king when I was, Vista, my god. But still, most of the computers at school were still running XP, really. Most of the computers at school were running XP. So I built it on an XP computer. XP is like, arguably the best operating system that was ever made by Microsoft. But that's a topic for another video. But yep, it's been that long since I've designed and Vista's arguably the worst. But it's been that long since I've designed a website, so I might ask my sister to do it for me, give me the family discount, because she had to learn that for her degree as part of her thing. So yeah, she actually, it's not what her main job is, obviously, but it's just something she learned in school. So she's done it for a few like family friends for a decent price, a decent price. So I'm gonna take a look at her work and decide, hey, do I want her to do it for me for the family discount, or do I want to make myself? I'll see. So yeah, but there's a lot of things in the pipeline. I know it's like endless delay. I'm not gonna promise anything else in the future of timelines, because with my ADHD and with just how unpredictable my life is right now, it's just I can't really meet my deadlines, and I just can't, right? Because I got so much that I'm doing, like so much, guys. You don't understand. It seems like I might not be doing anything, but I'm doing a lot. But that's that. I should get an award in Yapology. The reason I don't want to end the thing is because I'm thinking, like, I know I'm going to forget. With my ADHD, I always forget one thing. I always forget something to add. Oh, yeah. I had an idea for a name. Not for... Remember how I told you I have a design ready for my next batch of, like, 10 pedals that I'm going to release after all these are sold? I had a name for it, but I don't want people to accuse me of cultural appropriation, so I'm probably not going to use it. It's based off of a Native American legend that recently, the prophecy has recently been fulfilled, which is interesting, and it's a good prophecy, so I thought it would be like a good positive thing to name it, but I'm like, it's kind of, it's not, it's just depending, some people might find it distasteful, some people wouldn't care. So I'm like, it's just better to avoid it. But it'd be a pretty cool name. But I'm gonna avoid it. I'm not even gonna say what it is. But it would be pretty dope. But we're not gonna go with that just because I don't want to start any trouble. So yeah. But for this main line of 20 pink fuzzes, I'm thinking, what am I gonna call these things? I'm thinking. It has to be something that's not copyrighted or already in use too. And I don't want to say anything here, like my ideas, because someone might just steal it. I know none of you good people would, but you never know. Some casual viewer who this is the first video of mine they've seen, they might say, you know. Okay, I'm just being stupid now. I'm tired because I had to wake up extra early for the interview. Even though I didn't go to bed till like 4, but I had to wake up like at 9. So, kind of tired. Didn't even eat lunch or breakfast. Didn't eat until dinner. So, yeah. Sorry, if you are curious, those 2 wooden boxes, what the name of those are is, the woolly one is called Acid Warning, because it's warning you that it's not really acid. It's, you can try to make acid music with the 303 on there, but it's not really, and it sounds weird and off. That's what's called the Acid Warning, because I tested all these with the 303 as I was designing them. Not by design, like I said, I didn't come up with the circuit itself, but I tweaked with the componentry and substituted componentry. So, that's the quote-unquote design. Eventually, I'll get to the point where I can design my own circuit, but I'm not that skilled yet. But that's the goal, to one day get there. And then sorry. The other box is called, what was it called? Acid Tone Wood, right? And like I said, that's a joke on, some people like say, oh, this wood makes better tone in this guitar. And I'm like, well, the wood of this makes it sound good for acid. It's acid music, right? 303. Because that's what I was testing it with. But it's just a joke. It's just, not many people will get that. But they're one-offs. So there's not going to be any other pedal named that. So it doesn't matter if y'all steal the name, because it's only going to be on those one pedals anyways. And then the other one I showed y'all, the one with the skeleton that has no LED, is just called the Acid Skeleton. That's all it's called. Like I said, I'm giving the one-offs, they're simple names, because they're not going to be trademarked, and they're not going to be repeats. So, but the ones that I make a bunch of, I'm going to come up with a clever name for them. Like the 20 pink ones coming out, they're going to have a clever name. I think I'm going to name the one that that doesn't pass clean audio. I'm probably gonna call it like Fuzz or Nothing, because you can't pass clean audio, so it's the fuzz or it's nothing, right? So I thought that'd be kind of funny. So yeah, but the other one-offs, I'm not sure on the names for those yet. And I'm also not sure. I think what I'm going to do, don't tell Josh this, okay? He's going to be upset with me if he knows this. But I'm thinking that the little designed ones, I'm gonna get like a little stamp and come up with a cool stamp and stamp a little design on those. Okay, like I said, don't tell Josh from JH Pedals. He's gonna say I'm copying him, and he's going to want my lunch money, and then it's gonna be not fun. And he's gonna demand that I give him all the boxes for the pedals that he doesn't have the box for, and that will bankrupt me. So, sorry, I'm just being stupid here. But yeah, that's what I might do for these, just to see how it comes out. If I don't really like it, I might go to stickers next time, or might go to screen printing. I don't know. But for those, I'm going to do that. The one-offs aren't going to have that. So, yeah. Once I have the name for those, I won't have the name by the time, or I won't have the design by the time the video comes out. Because I got a few runners up. And like I said, those pedals sound best for fuzz. Best for fuzz. Best for bass. Those, the one I'm making 20 of. But you can, of course, use them with your synthesizers as well. And you can use them with your guitar. But you're probably going to want to run a preamp or a clean boost or even an overdrive from your prior to the signal chain going into this pedal if you're using guitar, because it's not really meant for guitar. It's designed for bass, so it's like it's not going to pick up this. It doesn't pick up guitar as well for some reason. I don't know why. Unless you crank that volume. Oh my god, I almost started singing Crank That Soldier Boy. I don't even know why I did. Okay. That tells you I need to sleep. But another thing is I haven't finished it yet because I've been busy. But one of my viewers, if you're watching this, you might not hear it, but we'll talk about it later to give a little shout out. One of my viewers has a new album that came out, and it's very what do you call it? What's the right word? My brain is going blank. It's very conceptual. It has like an underlying theme it's very interesting. I think it would be perfect music for like this is gonna sound funny, but like it would sound good for like if you're in like a kind of like a scary like hallway in a government facility, but in like a video game, maybe fighting zombies or mutants or something. It's very simple, minimal music, but I think it'd be good for a background for something like that. That's just my take. Now, I haven't listened to the whole thing yet. I've listened to a solid third or a half of it, because when I listen to it, I want to like focus on just that so I can appreciate the music and not just have it in the background, since he sent it to me. So I've been listening to it when I can dedicate my time to listening to it. But anyways, I'm counting this as the video talking about the pedals, because I'm not gonna just do a video where I show the pedals and talk about them, because I've already done enough talking videos. The rest of them are gonna be demos, so I'm talking about them now while I have y'all here. The one-off pedal that you can't hear the clean tone go through is going to be the cool purple one. So it's going to make up for having that by looking really dope. And it's going to have blue guitar volume knobs on it. So what I did with the pedals that have the guitar volume knobs, I was clever. I was clever, guys. So instead of having it doesn't have an arrow pointing. So how do you know like what it's set at? So at the bottom of the knob, it'll have a little arrow pointing, and whatever number is at the bottom is the level. So if 10's at the bottom, it's set to max. If 0, it's completely off. So it'll be pretty straightforward. And another very funny thing is with my potentiometers. One of the potentiometers I ordered have a longer shaft. Oh god, a longer shaft. My god, they're gonna make a joke out of that. But it has a longer shaft, so those little knobs stick out a little bit. So what I did, the rest of the one-offs that have those knobs are going to be built with a different type of knob. That's not quite as good, but I'm doing it so it doesn't look like extra wonky. You know what I mean? You'll see the one It's one of the pink ones that one-offs that have the heightened knob. Now the heightened knob is a much higher quality knob, and also it's an algorithm. Ugh, I cannot say that word to save my life. Like alga. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's like the. It's like. Oh my god. It's like the worst. It's like the only word I can't pronounce. Algorithmic. So it's algorithmic. Alright? So algorithmic. There we go. Algorithmic instead of linear. So that way you get a better curve of the sound. So standardly it had I think that's for the I can't remember if that's for the gain or the volume. But standardly they wanted you to use a linear one, and I'm like, we're gonna use, algorithmic instead. So I ordered a bunch of them. I ordered like 40 of them or 30. I can't remember. 30 or 40. But they're taller. They're like, the shafts are taller. Oh my gosh. No wonder I got a good deal, even though they're quality ones. So, yeah. I'm gonna save those for the main line, because the type of knobs won't matter as much if they stick out, and I think the knobs can go further down on that one. So, yeah. I think you guys are going to like it. I am going to try to procure a cheap bass to do with these demos. Just because I want to do the pedals justice. Because they are a bass fuzz at heart. And even though a lot of them do sound great with synth, a few of them sound better with a bass. And like I said, I haven't actually tested them with a bass. But I tuned my guitar down way, way too low to simulate a bass with the lowest note. And it's not a one-for-one comparison, obviously, but it gives you like a little sample of what it could be like. So, bass guitar is coming. I'm gonna get, like I said, I'm gonna get a cheap piece of junk just because funds won't allow any more than that. I'm getting a few $100 from my income tax refund, and I should get one with that. Now, one bad thing is that might take a while, so I might not get that. So hopefully, like a synthesizer or something in my shop sells, so I have enough money to buy that bass. Because the sad thing is, if I don't have time to do that, I might sell some of these one-offs before they ever tested with bass. And they could have been like God tier with the bass, and we'll just never know. That would be sad, right? So, I might poke down to Guitar Center. I heard Guitar Center is actually going to move up market, which sucks for me. So maybe if they're moving up market, they're going to try to get rid of their lower end stuff. Like I heard they're moving to the point like where their cheapest guitars. What was it? Like their cheapest guitars are going to start out at like somewhere between 500 to 1,000, right? Where the cheapest guitars now start out like at 150 or 200, right? Yeah. So, yeah, they're moving up market, which I get it. I get it, because people who want a cheap guitar, they don't really care. They just buy a cheap guitar. They don't know any better. Myself included, but people who want to go try out a guitar in person are probably going to be trying out higher end ones. I guess that's their logic. So, well, what else can I tell you about these pedals? Why I have y'all here? The blue one, which is built with a slightly smaller case. Like I said, I put the LED in the actual design of the circuit as passing the audio, not just a light source. And I didn't think that, oh wait, I could have just attached it with a wire and then mounted it on the outside of the case where you could see it, but it was already constructed by the time. So what I did instead is I cut two holes. One hole you can see it from the front, one from the back, but it kind of looks weird with the two holes. I'm not gonna lie, so I might cover the back hole with a logo sticker. We'll see. But going forward, I'm definitely going to build more with the LED because it's really full of fun with LED passing the signal. I like it. Yeah, and I hope you guys will too. Now, what else? What else? That one sounds wonderful with the 303. My God, that one sounds so good with the 303. Oh wait, hold on. I'm gonna peek something real quick. Is the woolly pedal the pedal I think it is? Hold on. Look at. Yep, that's why this one sounds so freaking weird, guys. I used a really, really weird type of diode that's not really meant for this circuit. And also, on top of that, I also used a really, really weird type of film capacitor on the output. And also used kind of a strange... The transistors, it's slightly strange, it's not that weird. But yeah, the weirdest thing is definitely the type of diode I used. Definitely not a type of diode, I'll let it be a secret. But definitely not a type of diode that was meant for this design at all or should have been used. And I definitely won't use another one because it just came out kind of weird. But if you want something very weird, that will definitely be for you. But it isn't my type of weird, it's a different type of weird. But anyways, what synths am I going to be testing? So I'm debating if I'm actually going to test with a Cobalt 5 because the Cobalt 5, it's a digital synth, but it leads itself more to like airy pads and chords and stuff. And that obviously isn't the type of synth that you traditionally want to play through a fuzz. So I'm probably not going to use that one in the demo. You're probably only going to hear it in this video. So I will use some other digital synths. I might use the Casio CZ1. I don't know. Oh, I will use something crazy though. It's kind of a spoiler, but if you've stayed this long, you deserve to know. I got an old Casio sampler. So all of y'all, not all of y'all, but a lot of y'all know the SK1 sampler. Very cheap sampler from Casio from the 80s. It's a toy. Their value has gone up significantly since like I started buying synths and stuff. Like I started buying synths, gosh, about 10 years ago. Not really 10 years ago, like 9, but around, we'll just say 10 years, we'll just say a decade ago. And shoot, I'm old. I'm not really old. I'm in my 20s, but barely in my 20s. So, God, I'll be old once I leave my 20s, and I can say I'm old. But anyways, shoot. What was it? Oh yeah, but I got the expanded version of it, which is much more rare. And there's actually a few different expanded versions. This is actually the most rare version. This is the DM100, which is a dual keyboard, a stacked keyboard, upper and lower. The lower is a standard like Casio keyboard, and the upper has a standard Casio keyboard with the sampler. But it also has, so the sampling is 4-note polyphony, I think. No. Sorry. It's not 4-note polyphony. It's, you can actually save 4 samples in it at once. So it does delete once you turn it off, but you can have 4 samples saved on it for like a performance. You could be playing, switch to sample, playing, switch to sample. You know what I mean? If you have to play it in a live gig or whatever. And you can have 4, but once you turn off the synth, they're gone. But you can make the sample twice as long and make it take 2 slots. So you can have sample slot 1 and 2 take 1, and 3 and 4 take 1, and you can like double the length, which is cool. And also there's some effects, built-in effects you can put on the samples. Most of them are dealing with like amplitude and like, what do you call it? Sustain, I think. But there's also one that reverses it. And there's also an effect that loops it, where it plays repeatedly when you hold it down. So if you make a really, really, really short sample, the looping can be very interesting. It's kind of hard. You gotta be like real fast with that finger. You gotta be like Lightning McQueen. But that's gonna be dope. I'm definitely gonna use that. That's gonna be like my digital quote unquote synth. It's not really a synth, but yeah. Might use the Casio CZ1. because I'm going to be selling it soon. I know I love it, guys, I love it, but it's just, I get so weary of old keyboards with aftertouch and things like that, because, or velocity and things like that, especially, I think this one has aftertouch too, but it might not. It might just be velocity, but I get worried about that stuff breaking, especially on a Casio, so I want to sell it before that happens. Plus, they're a pretty penny right now. You can get about $1,000 for them, especially because mine has a hard carrying case, so I can really get $1,000 for it. I gotta find the right buyer, you know. There's not that many buyers for them. Most of the buyers want this CZ101 because it's small, compact. Actually has a cheesier sound, and people like that. The CZ1 actually has much better DACs in it than the other CZs. And higher polyphony. It has 16 note compared to 8, and you can, I think, split the keyboard. Yep, it's the best of the best. It's the Rolls Royce of the CZ keyboards. But like I said, I'm just afraid of things going bad with it and having to pay to fix it because I don't use it enough. I like it a little bit, but it's okay. And also, I have a CZ1000. Like the original one. It needs a slight repair. All it needs is the, it needs a I think some kind of fuse or something blew in it, and also the power jack needs to be soldered back on. So it's not really that much of a big of a repair that it needs. It's a repair that's going to cost more than it's worth, but if I hold on to it long enough, eventually it'll be cheaper to fix it than buy one. So I'll hold on to that. But I might pick up another CZ1000 some other time because I kind of like the lo-fi sound. It fits better with the digital stuff, I think. That's just me personally. But of course, 303, gonna hear tons of demos of that. We love it. You might hear a tiny bit with a guitar, but probably not. But I'm gonna try to slip in a bass. Try to get one. Like I said, guys, I can't play stringed instruments. I like play instruments for like in front of me, like on a table. That's just what works for me. Like holding something, playing it like sideways, it's not natural for me. So I guess I would do good with, I don't know what they're called, but they're like a stringed instrument that you play like a keyboard, like with like a wooden mallet with a rubber ball in the end, but it's like stringed. I would probably do okay with something like that. But when I play my guitar, every time I try to play it, I just sit it on the table and like play it like a keyboard, kind of. It's kind of weird, but whatever. You guys don't care about that. But yeah, the other synths I'm going to use Behringer K2. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with Behringer because they do a ton of shady stuff, guys. So much shady stuff. But at the same time, they make things that, like, another brand might make for so much. Now, like, they copied the key step and they sold it for, like, the same price. That's dumb. Okay? I would never support that. Okay? But, like, they're re-releasing the Roland SH5, I think. They've just recently released that. And if it sounds close to it, I haven't really heard any demos of it yet, but if it sounds close to it, I mean, yeah. And the Monopoly they did, yeah. Like I said, synths that are like really expensive or unobtainable, I get it. But like when they clone something that's still in production, guys, like I get it. Okay, like if they cloned the Jupiter 8, and you know what's that? Is that company called Deckard Stream, whatever? But they make an analog Jupiter 8 clone, but it's like kind of expensive. And also, of course, Roland made their own boutique. I don't fault them for cloning that because what they're doing is they're cloning a keyboard version, and it's because Deckard Dream's making a desktop, and also Roland's making a digital piece of garbage. Oh, I mean a boutique little toy. I mean a entry level model. Okay, we'll just say that. But sorry, I'm being rude here. But I wouldn't fault them on something like that. But like when they clone like the DFAM, and it's kind of it's just not that tasteful, things like that. But yeah. So I felt kind of bad that I bought the Behringer K2 because Korg still makes their or if they did make their MS-20 clone. It's the same thing. The reason I picked up the Behringer is because it had multiple filters, where I think the Korg only had one, but Korg might have came out with a Mark II that added both now. But that's the reason I went with the Behringer, because I wanted the other filter as well, the other historic filter. But I still felt kind of bad for that. I know I'm kind of stupid. I felt bad. I've literally never opened it and played it because I felt bad. I'm stupid, I know. But I'm going to open it for this demo. Yeah. Like, I'm going to open it because I need... Like, I don't have any analog synths that have a harsher sound, kind of like a monologue. My monologue doesn't. My monologue has a much softer tone. Like, the Korg monologue would be great as a stereo board. Like, if you could polychain 8 of those together, it would sound perfect as a stereo, like as an 8-voice synth. It'd sound perfect. But yeah. Anyways, another thing is, I'm going to tell y'all this. I started taking my ADHD medicine again, but I haven't lately because if I wake up, and that's another thing, not taking it lately, it's kind of had me a little bit slower. But if I wake up too late, I can't take it or I'll never sleep. So yeah, the one benefit of that is when I'm on my ADD medicine, they say don't drink. So I've basically quit drinking. But if I don't take the medicine, then I might occasionally drink. And right now I'm having a Warsteiner Dunkel. Let's butcher it. Let's try to say it. Warsteiner Dunkel. I don't know. I butchered that. But Warsteiner Dunkel. Dunkels are a great underrated style of beer, guys. The problem is a lot of people, a lot of Americans probably hate Dunkels if they've ever tried one because they probably got an old one. Because it's one of those, it's like a feedback loop where no one knows it, so no one drinks it. And when someone drinks it, it's already old, so it tastes bad. So they think it's bad, so less people drink it, so they sit there, so they get old. So when you do drink it, it tastes bad, so no one drinks it, so it sits there and gets old. So it's a never-ending feedback loop, right? But they had just put out some new, so they lowered the price of the Warsteiner because they were trying to clear out this old product. But me being a sneaky little demon, I went. Pulled it all out, went to the back where they had new ones, and I got some that were a year newer. You know, these are actually in date. Now, beer doesn't expire, guys. It doesn't expire ever, unless it's non-alcoholic. It doesn't go bad. I'm sorry. I had a 4%. It was like a 3.54% alcohol beer, okay? It was brewed. It was, okay, sorry. It was either brewed or expired in 2002, and I drank that in 2019, okay? And it was a low-alcohol beer from like Thailand or something. We found it in the back of my liquor store that I worked at, and I drank that, and surprisingly, it still tasted good. I don't know how, but it still tasted good. I had plenty of other beers there that were much higher alcohol, so they should have been preserved better, but they tasted god awful. I even ate one that the metal from the cap dissolved into the drink, and I drank it. I'm so stupid. I drank liquid bottle cap. That was the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life, honestly. Really, dumbest thing ever. But I had a bunch of really old beers, and I didn't die, so they don't really expire because alcohol preserves them. But it's like drinking a liquefied mummy or something. You shouldn't do it, even if you won't get sick. But anyways, this Warsteiner Dunkel is great. Like I said, of course, they don't pay me anything, but the thing that makes a Dunkel is, like, instead of just... They actually, in Germany, have their ingredients. So instead of just water, barley malt, hops, and little hop extract, they also put in some roasted barley malt. So they roast the barley, and it actually makes it taste very similar to coffee. I mean, I'm being honest with you. If you wanted the taste of coffee, and you didn't want caffeine, and you didn't want the chemicals of caffeine-free coffee that's loaded in chemicals, or might still have trace amounts. Maybe you're Mormon, maybe you're religious, where you can't have caffeine, but you still want that taste. You could just roast some barley and make a drink out of it. It didn't have to be alcoholic, and it would taste similar to coffee. Maybe that's how they make. I don't know how you say it. It's a Russian drink called kvass or Voss. I don't know. Maybe that's how they make that. I'm not sure. But yeah, it tastes like a black coffee with a slight sweet note, right? Like, you had a black coffee, but you added ever so slightly, like maybe you added like just one little drop of honey in like a 16-ounce thing and mixed it in there. Just the tiniest bit of sweet. And it's not, they don't add sugar, it's just a natural process. It's a tiny, tiny bit sweet. But it's just such an underrated style of beer. Dunkels are just so underrated. You know, if you like a stout, you'll definitely like a Dunkel. A Dunkel is like a more approachable stout. A Dunkel is like, I know it's really weird to say this, but a Dunkel is like a more, just, I don't know. It's kind of like a stout, but it's more tastes like coffee. Like some stouts actually add coffee to them to taste more like coffee. Like a Dunkel, it just tastes like coffee, okay? You don't need to add no coffee to a Dunkel. So, yeah. Warsteiner, out of all the German brands, isn't my favorite. They're not my least favorite either, but they're not my favorite. But their Dunkel, to me, is by far my favorite Dunkel. So. And Warsteiner is really one of the most affordable German brands. So, definitely, guys, if you see a Warsteiner Dunkel, get it. Make sure it's in date. And also make sure it's, like, very much in date, right? Like, this one doesn't go bad. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't go bad, but the taste starts to be off September 20th of this year. Okay, and today is June 12th. Right? Honestly, I'd want one that said, like, July of 2025. Because they usually put, like, a year on these before they say it might taste bad. So this one was probably bottled on September 21st, September 20th of 2023 is probably when it was bottled, because they usually, like I said, put a year on there. Some companies put more, scummy companies, and some put less, companies that have like really, really high pride. So, yeah. Definitely get you a Dunkel, and like I said, make sure it's at least maybe 3 months in date. Like, not even 3 months expired, right? 3 months away from its expiration date, so it's like really fresh at least, you know. And try to get one that's been stored cold as well, right? You can drink a Dunkel room temperature if you want, because this one's already gotten warm, and I'm drinking the rest of it room temperature. The mark of a good beer, honestly, guys, this is how you know if a beer is good or not. I'm sorry, but this is the God's truth. This is the ultimate truth, okay? This might be the most controversial thing I'll ever say ever on this channel. But you know a beer is good if it tastes good room temperature, okay? If a beer still tastes good room temperature, you know it's good. And there's a few beers that actually taste better room temperature. I know. Craziest thing you've ever heard in your life. There's a few beer. The Dunkel is not one, okay? The Dunkel, I do like a chill to the Dunkel, but a style of beer that does taste better room temperature to me personally, is Pilsner. Not a garbage Pilsner made by some cheap company, but a good Pilsner, either a craft Pilsner or a real German Pilsner or some other European Pilsner. They taste better room temperature. I know it's weird. It's weird to say it, guys, but they're one of the few beers that taste better room temperature. That's just me personally. I know it's a weird opinion. I never really liked Pilsner. I'm like, I just don't really like the style. There must be something wrong I'm doing, right? Because I usually can appreciate any type of beer, unless it's light beer, because that's just trash. And I figured out, oh wow, this stuff tastes so much better room temperature. So that's just my little secret to you guys. Don't try one. Maybe try like 3 or 4 Pilsners. Have one cold and have one room temperature. Just tell me what you think. You might still like it better cold. Who knows? But I can't stand Pilsner cold. I don't know why. It's one of my least favorite beer types. like I said, I like hoppy beer. I like non-hoppy beer. I like standard beers, like lagers, ales, and I like darker beers, like dunkels and stouts, and barley wines even. Okay, but I don't know. Pilsner, never did too good with it. Like I said, but once I tried them room temperature, much better. Well, that's enough on that beer tangent. If you didn't think I had ADD, now you know for sure that I do. Back to the pedals. The other pink one-off pedal sounds good. The one you haven't seen yet. That one has a green LED. Yeah. What else? Oh yeah, the one more thing I almost forgot. See, this is the thing I was gonna forget, but I didn't. With the germanium fuzz pedals, I got confused which diode I was supposed to use. So, I made one of each with each of the two diodes. I couldn't remember which was which because they got like accidentally put side by side, and I forgot which one to use. I know which ones they are, but I don't know which one is the right one. Right? I can tell which one's which, obviously, but I don't know. You know what I mean? So we're gonna demo both of them. In the demo, I'm gonna demo them like back and forth real quickly. And I wish honestly, guys, I could do this live, but I don't have enough viewers to live stream yet. I think I have to have 1,000. Sorry, I think I have to have 1,000 subscribers before I can live stream. So I can set a Premiere, but that's not the same thing. But we'll see what diode one sounds best. They sound more different than you think they do. But of course, each one of those germanium transistors is going to sound a little bit different. But I bought ones that have really, really close tolerances that are really, really well made for their type. They're new old stock USSR built around 1988 to 1990. But these particular ones are very stable. So, yeah, they should sound very similar. So you'll hear both versions of that. And whatever version y'all end up liking better, or maybe I won't even listen to y'all, whatever version I end up liking better will be the one I make the other two as. But yeah. And what else? When I put out these videos, I'm also going to do the giveaway of the... like I said, I built a standard Hemo-based fuzz without any tweaks. And I'm going to just give that one away for free because, like I said, I didn't even build any knobs with it or switches. And also, I didn't even tweak it. So it's just a standard Hemo. So I wouldn't in good conscience feel good selling that. So I'm going to give it away to one of you lucky people. And also I built it with solid core wire, which is not good. You shouldn't build your pedals with solid core wire. But all the rest have been built with multi-core. For the most part. There are 2 or 3 pedals that on the board itself I use solid core. But it's like so compact to the board that it doesn't matter that it's solid core. But for the dangly bits, I used multi-core. And on one of them, I used a cheaper wire. I'm sorry, but it still sounds fine. But for the rest of them, I'm using this new wire that I ordered from Love My Switches. But which is the one with the cheaper wire? It's one of these wooden box ones, so it's not even like one of the expensive ones. Oh yeah, it's the woolly one. I gave it to the woolly one. Yeah, because the woolly one was the second one I built. Or did I also use it on the first? I can't remember, guys, but... Anyways, yeah. But another update with the pedals, if y'all don't know, is I have a... little rubber that I've glued to the inside. So, the thing with these pedals is I'm making them where they're very easily serviceable. So I'm not attaching down the circuit boards because I don't want to create anything that's going to put tension on the boards themselves. I might do this later if I figure out a safer way to do it. It's not going to be done with these smaller pedals, but the next batch are going to be larger, and when I build those, because here's the thing, guys, the in and out jacks are on the sides, but they're low on the sides near the foot switch, and that's kind of weird. it's going to weird some of y'all out. It's perfectly fine, but it's going to weird some of y'all out big time. And because of that, I don't want to alienate people. So I'm doing a bigger case so I can either mount them in the middle or at the top, depending. But I'm going to make the case big enough for you guys will have the option for either one. I'll build both variants so everyone is pleased. But with these smaller ones, the only spot left was at the bottom sides, which is weird. But it works. But like I said, these are being built. And I didn't want to glue the boards down because I want these to be easily repairable by you guys in the future. That's the goal of these pedals, because when you buy a pedal from me, I want you to buy a pedal that even if something does wrong go with it, you yourself could easily fix it. That's my goal. I'm not going to have time myself to do repairs because honestly the time to do a repair, it'd be easier just to make a new one, you know what I mean? So I'm not going to do repairs myself, but I'm making them so simple that you could do them yourself, you could do the repair yourself, or any shop who's ever worked on effect pedals could do it because they're so simply done. I'm even building them, guys, on solderable breadboards. So I mean, like, it's so straightforward, guys. It's so simple that it's gonna be great for you long term to keep these things running. The weakest point on these, of course, is electrolytic caps. Electrolytic caps don't last forever. Some of these I've substituted one of the electrolytic caps, but every time I've tried to substitute the input electrolytic cap, it sounds weird. Like when I've tried to put some other type, like a ceramic or a film or whatever other type, it just sounds odd. So it either sounds odd or doesn't work or doesn't work properly, so I had to use the electrolytic ones on the input. And so I might figure out a workaround, because if I could build a design without the electrolytic caps, it'd be even more long lasting. And the electrolytic caps, guys, are still going to last decades and decades. But I mean, like, eventually they might leak, right? Like, when you have your great-grandchildren or grandchildren, they might leak. But they might leak in like 50 years from now, but they're not going to leak now, right? Like, I'm thinking that long term for you guys on these pedals, because I want these pedals to outlive all of us. That's the goal. I want some, teenager living on Mars 500 years from now finds this at an antique store, finds it and is in somewhere weird and dusts it off and uses it, right? Like, I want them to be around that long. That's the goal. Like, I want these to have long-term staying power. That's why I promised you guys I will never, ever, unless there's a gun to my head, even then I might still not, okay? So even then I might still not. I might just say shoot. But I'm never going to go surface mount, because surface mount's great. People make the arguments against and for surface mount for the wrong reasons, okay? Most of you guys are arguing about tone. Surface mount, it doesn't sound as good. Surface mount this, surface mount that. Oh, the through hole sounds better. It's not about that for me, guys. It's not about the sounding better versus sounding worse. It's about the ease of maintenance and repairability. I am a big proponent of DIY, do it yourself, and right to repair. And that's why I'm building these. They're so easy, and they should never go bad if they're treated right? Now, one thing I will say is the one skill I'm still improving is my soldering, but it is vastly improved even since the first two pedals. After the first two pedals, I have the first two as being the demo pedals, so one of them not even selling and one of them giving away. I've increased my skills doing so much soldering with all this practicing, and I figured out my problem is I had the soldering iron too low of a temperature. So guys, don't be afraid to have the temperature lower, because if you have the temperature lower, it's going to cause more issues than if you had it higher. Now, if you're working with very delicate components like digital chips and things like that, you got to be very careful with that higher heat. But like these analog components that I'm working with, they're so robust they can handle it. So yeah, repairability. Um, what else? What else about these pedals? So transparency, right? There are some companies that would copy something. Like I said, mine are not a direct copy because that's lame. I want to improve upon the Hemo design or modify it to my own liking. Now, of course, the actual circuitry layout is the same, but I have substituted components. So that's what I've done to this point. Eventually, my skills will be greater. Sorry if my mic's clipping sometimes. I have to move the mic away. But sorry. I need to order an actual like microphone for these parts. I'm actually just using a webcam camera mic, and I'm sorry, but I will order a actual microphone to use going forward. Once I've made a couple sales and I have the money to do so. But shoot, I don't know what I was talking about. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna like fake that. Hey, this is all me. I made everything. No, it's based on the Hemo base fuzz, but I've substituted components and made it my own thing. Yeah. So transparency with you guys, and like I said, an affordable price point. I think $99 is great. The one thing I am deciding, guys, is on the shipping aspect. What I think I'm gonna do, okay? I think if you buy it through my website when I have my website up, I will offer you free shipping. But if you buy it through Reverb, you'll have to pay for shipping. I think that's going to be the difference. And you might say, well, why are you charging the shipping on Reverb but not on your own site? That's to make up for the cut that Reverb is going to take. Because Reverb is going to take a cut of my sales. So I have to make that up. And a sneaky little way to make that up is the shipping cost. So yeah. If Reverb didn't charge me anything and all the sell there is completely free, if they charged maybe like a flat fee of $1 per listing or something like that, then I would of course give you all free shipping on there. But that shipping cost is basically giving Reverb their cut. So when I have my site up, you won't have to buy through Reverb. Now, if you do buy through Reverb, of course you'll have the Reverb protections that they provide. But I'm not trying to trick you or anything. And if you have issues, you just contact me. But maybe you want that Reverb peace of mind, so you'll get that if you buy through Reverb. But my site will be up and running sometime this year, for sure. I don't know when, but for this year is the goal. Yep. And what else about the pedals? Is there anything else I haven't told you about them? Oh yeah, an interesting fun fact is on the main design of the 20 that I'm doing that are going to be better aimed at bass, I've actually substituted the output electrolytic capacitor. When I say output, it's right on the output. It's like the final component in the circuit. So that's why I call it the output capacitor. I actually substituted it for a certain, not the same value either. At least I don't. Yeah, not the same value either. Or is it? Shoot, I can't remember. Maybe it is the same value. I don't know. But I substituted a film capacitor for it, right? Which is interesting. And I have just enough of them. I had 20 of them, so I have just enough of them to make these. They were a little bit more pricier part, but they're still not pricey, you know what I mean? Instead of being less than a cent each, they're like 10, 20 cents each. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, economics of scale. If I was building 1,000,000 of these, okay, that's a big, savings if I can eliminate that. But for how few I'm building, it's not important. And I just really liked how it sounded. And I got a certain diode I'm using, and a certain transistor. I'm using I might be saying this wrong, but I think they're 2N, 2A's, or they're 2A, 2N's, but one of those two. But they have 4 2's in them. And what's so cool about them is they look like germanium caps to the untrained eye because they have the little metal saucer top, but they are in fact silicone based transistors. And they are technically a lower gain, but they still just sound great. I don't know. They're just so good, man. They're just so They just fit the Hemo so much better than the standard transistor that it asked for. I can't even remember what it is. The standard one it asked for is a really, really common one. I mean, the 2N22222A or whatever they are, they're kind of common too, but the one it asked for, I think, is even more common. But I think you'll like that, especially bass players. Even I think they'll sound good with some of the keyboards too. Maybe not as much the 303, but other ones. But that's why I gotta get a bass. Even though, like I said, I can't play to save my life, I gotta give you all at least a little bit of a taste. So another thing I'm gonna plan on doing is when I start getting these things built, I do want to reach out to some YouTubers. The YouTubers aren't gonna get the one-offs, obviously, because there's no point for them to get those. But they will get maybe of the 20 ones I'm making. I might send one to a YouTuber. I'm going to poke around and just see because I can't pay a YouTuber to do it for me, you know what I mean? Like, if I give a YouTuber one and he might make a little video on it, he can say it's the worst thing he's ever heard in his life and you should never buy one, even if it guns to your head. That's fine. That's fine as long as he just says, gives feedback and it says, like, what he thinks about it. Not just, like, doesn't do anything, So I might ask around if I can send it to them or not, and I'm not sure who. Like I said, I really like 60 Cycle Hum. It's a good one. I don't know if he can play bass. I'm not sure. Maybe he can, probably, but I don't know if I've seen him play bass in his videos. If I have, I don't remember. I'll see. I'll have to ask him. But if not, I'll find a bass playing YouTuber, and send it on out. And of course, I want to send it to someone who likes fuzzes, right? Who's a fan of fuzz. All right, it'd be stupid to send it to a bassist who only plays uses wahs and overdrives on his bass, right? So someone who actually likes fuzzes and uses them with their bass. So we'll figure it out. If any of y'all are a big YouTuber and you're watching this, I doubt you are. But if you are, just say something below and I'll reach out. Of course, you're probably not watching this. And I really doubt anyone will ever make it to the end of this because, come on. Like, no one's listening to this here. But this is just here in case you do need to know more and you want to know more. It's just here. It's better to have this as a source for you guys for something, right? Just so y'all have something. So yeah. Now back to the other synths. Another synth I might test this with. I'm gonna of course test it with a monologue because it's a staple. And I'm also gonna test it with. There's at least one more thing. What was it? Oh yeah, I'm gonna test it with some kind of drum machine. Maybe the 606, maybe the 808, maybe the 909 clone. I don't know which, but I might use it. I'll probably use a drum machine too. I might even use the Korg drum, like that one that has the electronic drum sounds. I might use that. I don't know. We'll see. Oh. Last but not least, I think I'll also do some testing with the Mofo. Good old Dave Smith. Lost him too soon, man. It's so sad. He was at his peak. I mean, literally, he was just coming up with just banger after banger. I mean, he has the Pro 3. Arguably one of the most creative things that he's done since the Evolver. I mean, honestly, if I had the money to buy one of his more expensive synths, I wouldn't buy the Pro 3. I would buy something with more polyphony, but I really appreciate it. I would probably, honestly, bang for my buck, either buy the Take 5 or the Oberheim version of the Take 5, which is called the Teo, Teo, but it really stands for, I think, his name. What is it? Thomas Eugene Oberheim, maybe. Don't be mad if I got that wrong. I'm just going off from memory. But I'd rather get that over the Pro 3. Not because the Pro 3 is way more in depth. It's just I don't know. It's so in depth that I would want it to be poly. You know what I mean? I'd be so like if it could just squeeze one more voice in there. I know you can spread the 3 oscillators and make it 3 voice paraphonic, I think. But if they just had like one more oscillator in there, I think I could handle it. Like I can handle my Mofo times 4. 4 is kind of like the bare minimum. I mean, you can say 3 because you can play a chord with 3, but with 4 you can play a chord. You can play chords while also like playing a lower note. Like you can play like a little solo, little patch going on at the bottom of your keyboard while playing some chords, you know. So you can't do that on 3 note. I mean, unless you count a 2-note chord. I mean, but you know, I don't. So that's what we're going to be doing. Those are the explanations of the pedals, a little bit differences. You'll hear more differences. I didn't really talk much upon the other one-off Pink. It sounds good, but I don't know really much to say about that one. So yeah, you're going to hear these. I'm probably going to come up with a stamp to stamp these with. We'll give you a hint. The pedal's pink. So I'm probably going to play off that it being pink. So I might name it something that's pink, right? I don't know what. I had a stupid name for it, but it's like so dumb. Like people will get the wrong idea, so I'm not going to say what it is. I thought about like maybe if I incorporate something with eraser because the pink erasers, right? But I just couldn't think of anything good on that. And then I thought of another name that I can't remember who it was. It was either me and my fiance or me and my friend or me and someone, a family member. I don't know. But me and someone also came up with a funny name of, it's kind of a perverted name with something pink. So I don't think that would be good for the brand. So, you know, a lot of YouTubers might not want to talk about it if it's called something inappropriate. So probably won't go with that. So, I don't want it to be something dumb, right? So it's got to be cool, and it got to fit. It can't just be called something and not make any sense, right? Like, you can't call it, it's not going to be called this, but for example, the Pink Flamingo. Like, why would you call it Pink Flamingo? Like, what's the reason? Why would you call it that? Like, is it flamboyant sounding? Is it, like, very over the top? Like, a flamingo to me sounds like a flamingo should be a reverb chorus combination pedal with maybe delay feature, and it should be digital. That's a flamingo. A fuzz does not fit with a flamingo name. This is just me personally. I don't know. Could be wrong. I could be stupid. I could be limited in my thinking, but I thought it was a stupid name. I could call it the Tone Eraser. That's just so dumb. People are gonna be so confused. They're gonna be like, so it ruins your tone? So it just gets rid of your tone? You know what I mean? It's kind of stupid. So obviously I'm not gonna do that. That's a free one. You guys can have that one. But I'm thinking of something. Thinking of something. But when I do, I'm gonna get a custom stamp made. And surprisingly, guys, making a custom stamp will be cheaper than making the stickers. Because when I make the stickers, like the fee just to make them is like $20 plus paying for the stickers. So even if I ordered only 20 stickers, it's going to cost me like $25. Whereas if I've ordered 1,000 of them, it'd cost me like $50. You see what I mean? So it's like, it's not cost effective to use a sticker unless I'm making a S ton of them, right? So I'm going to do a stamp. I'ma do a stamp. I'm a do a stamp. Okay, let's see. And I'm not gonna get an off-the-shelf stamp either. I'm gonna custom design a little stamp. There's companies that'll make you one for $10. You just submit them your design. So, like I said, I'm telling you everything about the pedals now because this will be the talking video, because the demos are going to be coming up in the next couple of days or whenever. What else? What else? Oh yeah, I talked about this in a previous video, but I'll talk about it again. I'm going to expand the channel in the fact that I want to do music, but I'm not going to make like how to make a song. I'm not going to do any of that. I might just put some of my music on here. If y'all know, the original point of this channel was I made this as like a fake joke record label. So what I would do is it was a record label that would release really horrible music or really just weird and like, what the heck is this? And that was the goal of it. It was funny to me at the time. Okay, I was in my late teens, early 20s. It was funny, but it ain't really. I got kind of bored of that because not many people understood the joke. Like very few people. There were a few people that did get it. I don't even know if they still watch this channel anymore, guys. I don't know if they still do. I hope they do. But there were like 3 or 4 people who got it and thought it was funny. But not many people got that it was a joke. They either just thought, what is this? Or they were confused or whatever. But it was fun. It was fun while it lasted. And the funny thing is, all of that music I threw on Spotify. And a few of the songs actually took off on TikTok. And people made thousands of videos with them. There's at least 2 of the songs that are used in over 1,000 videos, and I think there's one that's used in multiple thousands of videos. One song on its own, just with TikTok, made me like $100. And making $100 from royalties as a no-name artist from music on TikTok is crazy. Because here's the thing, TikTok already pays its creators so low, and they give like royalties for people using their music in videos. They give you absolutely nothing, guys. Like, there are multiple videos of those thousands that had like multiple millions of views, multiple millions, like tens of millions. And the thing is, if my song was used on thousands of YouTube videos and some of those got like multiple millions and some even over 10 million and 20 million views, I would have probably made at least $1,000. At least, guys. I'm being conservative here. I would have made at least $1,000. Probably multiple thousands. But it being TikTok, I only got about $100 from one song. The one that did the best. The other ones I got way less. So that was crazy. But it's still worth it because that gave those. It gave so much exposure, and I know I got some new subscribers from that. Not many. But I probably got maybe 5 subscribers from that, and I think, or 10 maybe, and I think that's pretty cool. And whoever you are, thank you for joining in. Thank you for joining into the S show. Like I said, we don't want to say any bad words because, yeah. A very interesting thing about YouTube now is like the rules aren't like enforced uniformly. So one person might do something and the other person might do it, and one person gets punished and another one doesn't. So it's kind of weird. So it's better just to play it safe. So yeah, I drank my one Dunkel, guys. I only had one of these left to drink. So sad. So sad. There actually is a little tiny jar, like a shot glass sized jar, of orange creamsicle moonshine in the fridge that has never been opened. But, I might drink that because, like I said, it's not often that I don't have my medicine in me. So that's the only time I can drink. So, yeah. I'm probably going to take it again tomorrow if I can wake up early enough to take my medicine. If I wake up after 10, I'm not taking it. You know what I mean? It has to be really early or I'll never sleep. So anyways, what else? Well, I got you here. I need to tell y'all everything, because people can't say, hey, you didn't tell us about these pedals. I'm like, refer to this video. So it's long, it's winded, it's yappy, but It's giving y'all the inside scoop on these pedals and the inside scoop on the future of the channel and things. Oh, that's the other thing. So I talked about this a little bit yesterday or the day before. I also want to do reviews. And I've always wanted to do reviews, but I felt so like self-conscious about doing reviews because I'm not a professional reviewer, obviously, for music. Now, I would like to do synth and stuff reviews too, but there's so many people doing that. There's not as many people doing reviews of like obscure music, and that's kind of what I want to do. One of the only ones I know in the space doing it is Wonky Angle, and he's great. He's really the one that's inspired me to want to do it. Now, like I said, guys, I'm not doing this to copy him. I'm not going to copy his style, the way he does things. I'm not. He's going to go into much more depth than I will. He'll explain little things about the songs and stuff that I won't. I'll just basically explain why I like it and why you should, or why I don't like it and why you shouldn't. Basically, I'm going to be a little pompous a-hole giving my opinions. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun, right? Even if those videos get 10 views, it's just for fun. It ain't like no biggie. Ain't no biggie. But Wonky Angle, he does mostly electronic music, and I think I'm gonna do mostly electronic, but I will also expand into metal, because metal and electronic, to me personally, are like my three favorite genres. So yeah. So I'm re-recording this part because I went on a 30-minute long tangent talking about music, and I know you guys aren't even going to make it this far, so I better just it out. So I did. But short TDLR of what I said in there is I'm going to do more than just the electronic and metal. Electronic is going to be probably 90% of what I do. Metal will probably be 5% of what I do, and the other 5% will probably be dedicated to other genres that I like. Like I like funk, I like blues, I like what do you call it? I guess we just call Afrobeats, which is kind of like funk and traditional types of African music mixed together. Like one of the most famous artists in that genre is Fela Kuti. I'm butchering the name, but yeah. Just go listen to Fela Kuti Gentleman. It's like Fela space Kuti space Gentleman. Go listen to that wonderful track. I mean, he had like such a large band, and they made tracks. Some of the tracks are over 30 minutes long, and they're just so good, and they just build, and they're just like, I don't know. If I could expose more people to his music, I would. But anyways, I'm going to talk about stuff like that. I'm definitely going to talk about a lot of music from the 80s. 80s and 90s, to me, is the best era. I know some of y'all would disagree, but you're wrong. But I'll accept if you guys say 70s, because there's a lot of great music from the 70s. But for me personally, 80s and 90s, runner-ups. The 80s and 90s are the best, and runner-ups are definitely 70s and the early 2000s. So, 80s, of course, I'll talk about different things. Metal, electronic, new wave, all kind of interesting things. And 90s, of course, I'll talk about grunge and metal and electronic and stuff. New metal in the 2000s. And some game music as well. And I'm going to talk about older stuff, too, like rock from the 60s, like Jimi Hendrix Experience or The Doors, and even from the 50s, like artists like Bo Diddley and I was going to say his real name, but I'll just say Little Richard, because I always butcher his real name because I always forget it. And then like even twang artists like Dwayne Eddy and other weird stuff like that. So, and we even might talk about some blues stuff from the 40s. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting and varied, mostly electronic, but I will talk about everything. And I think that'll be fun, guys. I'm gonna do it. Ew! I just touched something. I don't know what the heck that was. I think that was a bug that died. Disgusting. I don't know how that got in here. It was like one of those stink bugs. You know what I'm talking about? I thought, I'm like, what is this? Did I drop a chip on the floor? And I picked it up and I squeezed it. I'm like, oh my god, it was a dead bug. But anyways, I think that'll be fun. It's not going to be serious. It's not going to be, like I said, if you guys want to watch serious electronic reviews that are actually good and know what they're talking about, go listen to Wonky Angle. Definitely subscribe to him. He only has 17,000 subscribers. Of course, it's a ton more than me. But for how good his content is, definitely underrated channel. I would support it with a Patreon if I could, but I ain't making that much money here. I'm just a po' boy in Alabama. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry you had to hear that. What was that? I laughed, and then I coughed, and then I hiccuped. My God. That was weird. But one thing I won't do, I'm not going to review an album if I hate it, right? Because what's the point? I'm just telling you, oh my God, it's so horrible, it's bad. There's no point for me to review an album like that. I'm just going to say it's trash, don't waste your time. What's the review? But there might be a song or two or three on an album that I really like, but I hate those songs, and I will be vocal about that. So I'm not going to hold back for anyone's feelings. So yeah, and you guys, if you guys want me to review your albums, little viewers, I'll do it. I'll definitely do it. You can send it. I might the guy one of my viewers sent me one of his albums to listen to, and I might do a little review of it if he wants me to. He might not, or he might. Who knows? Some people are afraid of feedback. If it's one of you guys, I'm gonna actually be like, I'm gonna give it more in depth of a thought to like a professional review level, just to give y'all more feedback on what I think. But like if it's just something I like, or that's like something I listen to that's not related to you guys, then I'll just give it a more broader review. So yeah, but yeah, his album is very interesting, and gotta keep listening to that. But there you guys go. That's about everything that's gonna be in this video. Okay, I'm being stupid now. I'm sorry. I literally only had 2 beers. But I had a Dunkel, and then I had a... What else was the other one in there? There was a Pilsner in there that I found. It was a local brewery. I don't really like their Pilsner that much. That's why it's probably still in there. But I drank those, and now there's no more beer in the home. But it don't matter, because I hardly ever drink anymore now, because I take my ADD medicine. So, that's it. Oh, one other weird... thing that I'm thinking about doing this, guys. Okay. I'm thinking about throwing in like little special creations, right? Like I might, with some of my special one-off pedals or my special pedals, I might include like free little art pieces. There'll be little small art design things I've done. Yep. But if you don't want them, then I won't send them, because I don't want them to be sent to you and you like, well, I have no need for this. You just leave it in the box. You know what I mean? I don't want to waste your time. So if people want those will be included with the one-off and special edition pedals. They won't come with a mainline pedals, but like if it's a one-off or like those 4 germanium pedals, even though they're the same price, they'll include those little special incentives that make you go, ooh la la, mademoiselle. So there we go. So that's about it. Now that you've been here an hour and 40 minutes, you finally get to listen to a mega long 2-minute demo. Like I said, to refresh you, because you probably forgot, it'll start off coming from the Cobalt 5S stereo, left into the one of my cigar box pedals and right into the other cigar box pedal. So it's coming out stereo, but with 2 effects. And that's the sound you're getting, which is interesting. And then after you hear that, then I'll play it clean for a little bit so you can hear what it sounded like clean before. And then I'll do the 303 first with the larger box that has the more woolly sound, like I said, and then second with the smaller box. And I won't say when it changes, but you'll hear the sound with the 303 definitely change drastically pretty quickly, and then you'll know that it switched. And you won't hear the 303 clean, because like you guys, you should know what a 303 sounds like clean. Plus, I'm sorry, I forgot to record it clean. Oops. But you can look up TB303 if you want to hear what they sound like clean. But it's not a real TB303. It's an analog clone, but it sounds 90% there, 95% there. So there you go. Thank you. If any of you really watched, listen. Okay, if any of you actually watched for this long, I want y'all to say this special word. Listen, don't lie to me. If you lie to me, I'll know. The Don always knows, okay? Okay, that's stupid. I'm being stupid. But if you lie, I will find out, and I will pour Cholula hot sauce in your eye socket. Okay? I don't know what's wrong with me. I think I get weird when I get really sleepy. I normally don't get sleepy. It's because I only slept like 5 hours. But no, really, if you watch this long, say the code word in the comments below. The code word is... let's think here. Okay, the code word is Shrek is love, Shrek is life. So if you watch this far, say that. And I know some of y'all might have skipped ahead, but don't say it if you skipped ahead. So I'm going to give it a little pause. Alright, I'm going to talk about one more thing before, just so we can not, so the certain people don't know if you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, one last thing before we show you this demo. There's going to be a lot more of the $100 pedals. There's only 2 of the $50 pedals built. I'm debating on giving a discount on the one pedal that doesn't play the clean tone through it. I am debating on giving a slight discount on that. But I still might not, because I am Mr. Krabs. No, I was kidding, but I probably will give a little slight, little discount on that one. But there you go. If you guys sat through that whole hour and 42, hour and 43, hour and 50, 3 hours and 45 minutes of me talking, then, I'm just kidding, I'm not going to torture you. Then you basically watched a movie. You've seen a movie of me talking. If you listen this long, you really want to know all the details. It's very important to you to know everything about this channel, and I really appreciate that. That means a lot. Or you are in love with my voice, and at that point, don't get too in love with my voice, because I'm so sorry, but my voice isn't even that good. That was a joke. I was just being funny. Or 3, you're a toddler on your mom's iPad, and you're going goo goo gaga as you click the screen, and you've just been having this play in the background at a Chinese buffet as other people are trying to eat, and this is just blasting at 1 million at max volume for everyone to hear as the speaker distorts. So you're one of those 3 people. Thank all of y'all for watching. And now, without further ado, let's hear a brief demo. And like I said, guys, proper demos are coming. These were sent in with stereo cables. I should have used mono cables, and I didn't even use my mixer. And I didn't even ground the Cobalt was powered by USB, so there's a grounding issue. If it'll be powered, if I use it in the main demo, it'll be powered by a wall plug. So yeah, there will be a weird grounding issue. You'll hear that with the Cobalt at first, but that's just because of the USB power. And like I said, guys, I couldn't hear anything I was recording while I did this, so it's all done blind, just FYI. When I do my official demos in the coming days, they're going to be... I'll hear what I'm doing as I record it, so I just want to give you all that. let's stop this now. And let's let y'all hear it. Right now, here it is with the no effect. And after you hear this with no effect, you're going to hear it with the 303. But the 303 first played with the larger of the boxes, and the second played with the smaller red one. And you'll be able to hear the difference when the sound switches over. Alright guys, so there's a brief little demo. Like I said, if you watch this video, you know why this demo is so short. But if you skip straight to the demo and you didn't listen to why, I'm going to give you all a brief little rundown. If you don't want to listen to it, watch an hour and a half of me talking. So basically what happened is, I'm trying to think of how to summarize it. But yesterday, I had to help my grandfather find a new computer, and that took a lot of the day, and didn't have really any time to build. I did build one pedal yesterday, but there's still one more to build. And also, I made another one. One of the ones I built had an issue where the sound didn't pass through when the pedal was off. And I tried so much. I could have built another pedal in the time that I figured out trying to fix it, but I never did. So there's going to be one pedal that doesn't pass tone clean for some reason. Yeah, and then why didn't I finish them today? Well, I actually had a job interview, and I talk about that more in the video, and I got a new job coming. That's going to be great. So yeah, those are the reasons I didn't get the finished building. I know, of course, something great happens for me that makes it. I'm like, watch, something's gonna happen. It's gonna stop me from having this videos out by Wednesday. Just because whenever I promise something, heaven and earth will move to stop me from reaching my goals. And if I set a time, right? But if I don't set a time, then I can meet them a lot easier. So I think going forward, I'm just never gonna set a time goal ever again because there's always gonna be something that comes up and ruins the time goal. But I will set one final little time goal for you guys. This is the last time goal you're ever going to hear from me ever. And the time goal will be that for sure I will have these demo videos done before this weekend's out because I have to, because I start working sometime next week. And I got to get this stuff done while I have a lot of free time. So, yeah. But if you want to know more about the pedals, go back, listen to an hour and a half, 45 minutes of me talking. But like I said, the TDLR got delayed again, but they're still coming. One more to build. Yep. And also, when I have my site up, if you'll be able to get them a little bit cheaper on my site, but the site won't be up probably until all of this batch of like 30 pedals is sold anyway. So if you're trying to wait out and you want to buy one of this batch, the website won't be up before this batch is out. But probably sometime when the second batch comes out, the website will be up. And the only discount will be is you'll get free shipping if you buy on my site, where if you buy on Reverb, you have to pay for it. That's the only difference. Alright, well, I'll see you guys later. And like I said, sorry for the delays. And I hope you do watch the video. It's very long. I talk about a lot of cool stuff. A lot of boring stuff too. But if you're just like cleaning or taking a dump or doing whatever and you just want to hear something in the background, take a listen to that because it's going to tell you, it's explaining all of the pedals, different little things about them, also different things about the future of this channel and different things I'm going to do with it and other fun stuff like that and some behind the scenes problems and fun things I've discovered with the pedals. So, and also telling you what the demos are going to be like. And also, of course, it just explained the demos you heard. Like I said, the demos you just heard, if you didn't listen to anything previous to this, because my mixer is not set up right now, because I'm like rearranging things, I recorded it in a way that I couldn't hear what I was recording as I recorded it. So I just had to guess what I was playing. So if it sounds kind of weird, it's because of that. So I can get even better tones when I'm doing it, when I'm hearing it. And also I used stereo cables instead of mono cables, so it might sound a little off because of that. Well, I'll see you guys. Thank you for liking and subscribing and watching and everything that you do. The next video, I know I said this a lot, but I really 100% mean it this time. The next video is going to be the first demo. I think I'm going to do the shootout video first, where I, instead of just take one instrument and play it with, so I'm like I said, I'm going to do two types of videos for every pedal. I'm going to play each pedal with like 5 different instruments to see how it sounds with them, but all the same per pedal. And then I have one video where I take all the pedals and I demo them with just 1 or 2 instruments. And so you can hear the difference between the pedals. That's the one I'm going to do first, so you get a taste of every pedal. But yeah, and then I'll do the breakdown videos later. Well, I'll see you guys later. Thank you for staying and watching. See ya. Peace.